going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlossTube, and I am here on this Wednesday, the 4th of July, 2018, so happy Independence Day to my fellow Americans. I am here with my next update video. Real quick, and you probably already can tell, this is not going to be my longest video. It's going to be kind of a quick one, but that's to be expected since I filmed just about 6 days ago, and I'm not working on too many things. I have a few things to talk about in pretty much all of the categories, but not tons, so we'll see how it goes. But to sort of get us started, here's what you can expect today. I have a few thank yous. I also have some things that I meant to talk about last time that I forgot or I had mentioned in the Wednesday clip that I deleted. I don't know what a mess filming was last week, but hopefully today will be a little bit better. I also have a very short Q&A. I have my shoutouts. I have projects that I've worked on, including an FFO. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then plans, I guess, haul, and knitting. No books again because I haven't read anything at all. I've been focused on some other things. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and I'm going to start off with the thank yous. So first, I would like to thank any returning subscribers. Thank you for coming to spend some more time with me. I appreciate it. I also would like to thank anybody who is new to my channel. If you're viewing me for the first time, I hope you enjoy. And then I would also like to extend a specific thank you to Nolene, but also to everybody else who informed me that the pattern that I was in search of last week is totally available, like, everywhere. So within about 10 minutes after that video posted, Nolene commented and said, yeah, you can get Martha Agnes from the Patchwork Rabbit in the UK. So I quickly ran over there and placed an order. It hasn't arrived yet, but it is on its way, along with traveling partners, because that's a long trip for one chart to go by itself. So it got some buddies. So thank you, Nolene. But then also thank you to everybody who was like, yeah, you can get it here and here and here. And then Olivia B. and Michelle Koziag were like, hey, Stacey Nash has her own Etsy page. Did you know that? So I sent some money to Stacey Nash directly. So we'll see when that stuff arrives. Neither of those packages have arrived yet, but I will let you know. I have a lot of incoming haul. Not much to show you today, but a lot incoming. Anyway, so thank you all for letting me know. Obviously, I didn't search very hard for the pattern since you all found it in a lot of shops. Yeah. So thanks. Okay, so let's talk about the things that I forgot to talk about last time, or that I did but forgot to include in the clip or whatever. And the first of which are some more thank yous that I need to extend to, most specifically, Sammy J Stitches and Kim Butler Stitch Adventures. Those are the two that I spent the majority of StitchCon weekend with. And so I just would like to say thanks, y'all. It was a blast to get to hang out with you. Why can't we all live in the same city and do that all the time? I don't understand. Instead, no, we're just going to be spread across the country. Quite literally. Anyway, but I also want to say thank you to table buddies, everybody that I sat with and got to converse with, and everybody that came up to me was like, hey, it was the best. I had a really good time when I could be in this space, and I owe that entirely to the beautiful people in the room. And so most specifically to those I was sitting with, Darla, Kentucky Stitcher on Instagram, as well as Kelly. I don't believe that Kelly Sluter has an Instagram. Kelly, if you're watching, let me know. I also, let's see, we also had Lori, Organic Granny, for a good little while there. I think she was there for about a day. She did what Barb of Keepsakes told us to do, and that was to get up and go sit with other people. I didn't do that, but Lori did, and so she came and sat with us for a little while. Who else did we have? We had Heather, and we had Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics. So it was just really great to get to spend some time with y'all, and so just thanks, and miss y'all. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to do last week and just totally swoop right over my head, I completely forgot, is pass the stash. So I would really like to start doing this. And last week I showed you my finish of Afternoon in New York by Country Cottage Needleworks. So I'm going to pass this chart along. It does not come with threads or fabric or anything like that. It's just the chart. I will ship this internationally. So this one can go international. I might have some pass the stash in the future that's going to stay within the US, but this one can go anywhere. So if you would like a chance to win this pattern, then here are my stipulations. General giveaway pass the stash rules apply. Please do not say giveaway or pass the stash in your comment. I will delete it. I don't want to do that, but I also don't want this to end up in the wrong hands. I would like an actual stitcher to get this. If you are under the age of 18, I need your parents' permission to provide me with your shipping and mailing address. Otherwise, go for it. What else? Please be a subscriber. It's kind of important. And in your comment, I would like you to, let's go with, tell me your favorite spot in New York. Or if you've never been and you would like to go, tell me somewhere you would like to go. Anywhere in the city. So some of my favorites include, we all know I have an affinity for the Flatiron Building. I also love Broadway, and also off-Broadway. And then, Barbudo. Barbudo. When I was staying in New York for Book Expo America a few years ago, my friend Andrea and her then husband, we had a reservation at Barbudo. It's by, you might know him, Jonathan Waxman. And it's this fabulous restaurant where we ate too much and drank too much, and it was wonderful. It was so good. And I would really like to get back there. I'm sure that there's 1,000,001 food places in New York City to eat, but I really loved Barbudo. And that Bryant Park Grill that my brother and I went to, that was pretty good. Yeah, there's lots of food in New York. Anyway, so tell me your favorite spot or somewhere you would like to go in New York, and I will enter you in. This is going to run for 2 weeks, so I will announce and draw the winner on Wednesday, July 14th. If I don't film that day, then I won't draw it that day. So pretty much when I film is when I will make that happen. So there is that. Pass the stash. Love it. Okay. So that's it for the things that I think I forgot last week. And if I remember something, then I'll write it down for next week. Taking notes is a really good idea. Anyway, okay. Up next, let's do a real quick Q&A. And it's real quick because my answer is going to be a little bit delayed. So I had a question from Stitchy Girl in SR, and she would like for me to do a sort of like a demo or a run through of my PVC lap stand or PVC table stand that I talked about last week. And I will be absolutely happy to do that. However, I would like to give you a thorough view or a thorough review. And so what I'm going to do is film something where I talk through dimensions and whatnot, and then I'm going to have Danny film me while I'm stitching at it so that you can sort of see it in action, and you can sort of see some of the ways that I've had to make it work a little bit. I know that a lot of people are looking for some sort of a stand, especially for these larger frames, these larger, heavier frames. And so I'm happy to share any information that I have. But I will make that happen this week, and I will include it in next week's video. So stay tuned for that. But absolutely happy to do so. Okay, let's go ahead and get on with the shoutouts. So I do have two again this week. The FlossTube that I have been watching this week has been primarily my favorites. So I've been trying to play catch up with those that I try to watch on the regular, and so I've been kind of binge catching up with a few people, and so I thought that I would just take a second to shout them out. But since I talk about them more regularly than a traditional shout out or what have you, I'm going to make this brief. And so the two that I'm shouting out today are Ann P. She is the dyer behind Willy Wonka Fibers. I talk about her all the time. I love Ann P because she's a lot like me in that she spreads herself a little thin, has a lot of interests and a lot of different hobbies, but just really great to listen to. And she is also the mastermind behind the Full Coverage Fanatics group on Facebook, and I am eternally grateful for that. It has been a great motivator for me. So definitely check out Ann P if you haven't. The second person that I'm shouting out today is another that I mention often, and that is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy. Just adore Sarah. She's wonderful. Sarah and I are pretty similar in that we're constantly evolving our approach. So today I am firm in my rotation, but tomorrow it might be different. And Sarah, I think does that too. Just constantly trying to figure out how to work on these things, but then also really enjoy it. I am eternally envious of Sarah because of her stitch in hand. I'm envious of everybody who can stitch in hand. I wish that I could do that. Maybe one day I'll teach myself how, but today is not that day. But I am absolutely engrossed in any of Sarah's Stitch With Me videos because she stitches in hand, and it's just fascinating to me. So anyway, again, please check out Sarah's Stitchin' Mommy. She is also running an event in the month of August. And I think the official title is now Arbitrary August. So essentially the premise is random number generator your whip every day. And so the theory is that you may be able to work on, if you've got 31 or fewer projects, work on all of them in the month. And this is tempting to me. It shouldn't be, but an opportunity to work on some of my non-year of whips, I'm so attracted to it. I'm trying to figure out a way that I might be able to work it in with everything else because I'm still finish focused. And then I also have a pile of things that I want to start. So I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with things. Fortunately, it's the beginning of July, so I have some time to plan that out and see if I'm going to participate. Sarah mentioned that I have a knack for coming up with hashtags for these stitching events, and so when she said that, it put me to the task to try to think of a hashtag. I couldn't think of anything except for Stitchers Gone Wild, and I think that that's probably the wrong clientele. That's probably not the hashtag that anybody wants to use. So Arbitrary August sounds great. But I thought that was funny. Anyway, so yeah, definitely check out both Anne and Sarah. Their channels will be linked down below. So Arbitrary August sort of leads me into my next topic for conversation, and that is an idea that's kind of percolating. I have to work through it, but the long story short is that my 5-year FlossTube anniversary is on August 2nd. 2018, like less than a month away. 5 years of FlossTube. Holy cannoli, that's wild, isn't it? And so I thought that, I mean, a 5-year anniversary, it's kind of momentous. So maybe a Sal could be fun. And so I'm trying to think of something. I sort of had an idea, and I thought maybe I'll run it by you today, and then you guys sort of let me know your thoughts. Keeping in mind that there is arbitrary August going on and all of the other Sals that are currently happening. So my thinking is to do a 5-day sale. 5-year anniversary, 5-day sale. And the first 4 days are sort of a scavenger hunt or a treasure hunt kind of a thing. So my ideas are JMDS. So stitch on the first day, J. Stitch on a project that starts with the letter J. Designer, title of the design, etc. MDS for the subsequent 3 days. So because Jessie Marie does stuff. So maybe. And then on the 5th day, whatever you want. I think I'm going to do a new start. But then there's also this question of timing, because I could stick it at the end of July so that the 5th day lands on my 5-year anniversary. Potentially. Or I could stick it on the 1st of August to run through the first 5 days of August. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts. And I'll play with it and sort of see what happens. It might turn into nothing. It might go the way of my birthday sale this year. Who knows? So stay tuned for more information that's a little bit more concrete than that. Okay, so that is it for the pre-stitching things. Now let's get started talking about works in progress. So I don't need my notes anymore. Okay, so the last we spoke, I was working on my Prairie Schooler alphabet, and I was, of course, working on A is for anchor. And so preview here of what it will look like finished. And then you'll also be seeing what it looked like the last I showed you. I had, I think, probably 95% of the boat done, I think, at that time. And you guys know that I set myself to task to try to finish it before month's end, before the end of June. And I'll admit, I was concerned. I didn't think I was going to get it done. I was like, I really didn't think I was going to finish it until July 1st. But my very sweet husband, if I tell him that I've got this crazy stitching goal, he's like, all right, let's get it done. So I finished it like 2 in the afternoon. No, closer to 3 in the afternoon on Saturday. So Saturday the 30th. So I got it done. And I am so in love with it. I can't get over how happy this makes me. So I had sort of divided the remainder of the block up. So I was setting like little milestones. And so my milestone for Friday was to do this full coverage block with the anchor there, the A block, which is just one color, and then the text on the inside. And I didn't get it done on Friday. And so that was when I got up on Saturday morning. I was like, this isn't going to happen today. I was a little bummed because I wanted to get it done because of my subsequent goals that were pertaining to this. But I managed it. These fish stitched up rather quickly. So I'm really excited about it. So let me bring it in a little bit closer so that you can see, maybe you can see the different grains. There are 3 different grains in there. No. Yeah, 3 different grains. I love it. And like so many before me, I chose not to use the red to fill in the A. I'm going to use those as negative space. because I just like the look of them. And then I had one of the greens left on my needle, so I just came up here and did a little bit in B is for Blackbird. So I got to jump on my next one. Now, here's the thing. So I told you guys that I want to do 3 letters this year. 6 months left of the year. So I am going to give myself 3 months for each of these last 2. So I have through September to get B is for Blackbird done. I have it nowhere in the plans for here in July, so really I have August and September to make that happen. And then the last quarter of the year for C is for cow. But getting the first block done sort of makes the rest of this more feasible, shall we say. And also, quick reminder, my fabric here is a 40 count Newcastle linen in platinum by Zweigart. Just a gorgeous neutral. So there is that. Managed to get the block done. Mini finish for the month of June. Pretty exciting. Okay. So like I did barely any stitching in the month of June, and then the last week I had a finish and then a mini finish. I was like, okay. But anyway, that was pretty great. Okay, so now we come to the fun part. And that is Liberty by Lizzie Kate. So I told you guys that if I got that alphabet block done on Saturday, that on Sunday I would try to start to finish this. Well, I started it on Saturday. And that is Lizzie Kate Celebrate with Charm. Upside down, there we go. Independence, Liberty. And what is it about the simple projects that are so hard? So difficult. I don't know what the deal was, but finishing this was kind of a pain. Like getting the stitching part done was a pain. I did it, not until late Sunday, but nonetheless, I got it done. So there's that. I stitched it on a 32 count Belfast linen in, is this also platinum? Yes, also platinum, from Zweigart. I did the DMC conversion because I had all one of the fancy floss called for. So I just did the DMCs, and I'll probably do that for this series. And I FFO'd it this morning. I'm so excited about this, you guys. I'm so giddy. I legit did a happy dance when I finished this. I didn't film it, and I won't repeat it, but nonetheless, I was so excited. I have an FFO. I can't even. So exciting for me, because I just don't FFO things. Y'all know. So here's the finished piece. Just bring it in close. And I'll talk about my fully finishing here real quick. So I talked about last time that I got this horn book from StitchCon, from the little mini shop trunk show thing that Keepsakes put on at the hotel. And so this horn book is from Retromantic Fripperies. So the stitched piece I wrapped around foam core. Underneath it is another piece that is wrapped around foam core. This is just paper. So I just grabbed a piece of scrapbook paper and wrapped it around a piece of foam core. So there's like a little bit of a background to it. And then this is where my nightmare was. So I hot glued a piece of Velcro. This is like the teethy part of Velcro. Hot glued it to the horn book. And then on the back, I put a piece of felt. The reason that I did this instead of the fuzzy part of a piece of Velcro is that my plan for this is to be able to swap this with the other pieces in the series And it was so much easier to just to use the felt so that it doesn't really matter where I place it. It will fit no matter what. So all I have to do is just press the piece on and we're good to go. And I think that traditionally hornbooks are displayed like this, upside down, or with the handle sort of down here. So I have the ability to do that if I ever make this into like a wall hanging. But with the way that I have it displayed now, like this is how I've got it. I am so proud of this, you guys. It is not perfect. Y'all, we can't all be Vanna. It is not perfect. And my lack of experience in fully finishing things is showing in this. But it's done. It's a finished thing. I can set it up somewhere, and it's not a piece of fabric sitting in a drawer. So I'm super excited. So there is that. So I am going to insert a picture of my display. I'm so proud of it. It's right here, sitting on my dining room table, and I'm just super excited about it. But one thing, a piece of advice, if you will. This is where the title is coming into play. Some words of advice. If you are FFOing a project on your way to Hobby Lobby to pick up supplies to do said fully finishing, and you are doing so on a budget, do not, under any circumstances, watch Priscilla's home tour before going. Ask me how I know this. So, here's what happened. Yesterday, before I left to go to Hobby Lobby, I was doing some research, just making sure that I knew this vague idea in my head, how to translate it to fully finished object, and so I was searching for inspiration for hornbook needlework and the like, and patriotic needlework, and then also what the heck am I supposed to do with this hornbook when it's done, because we are looking and shopping for a new house, and so I'm not gonna put anything on the walls right now. Well, so I finally got a better idea, but I wanted some confirmation, and so I started with Vanna, and so Vanna sort of helped me in the direction of this, I mean, not really flat fold, but like flat finish. And then that inevitably led me over to Priscilla's blog. And that led me to watch her home tour for her 4th of July home tour. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The problem is that you walk into a Hobby Lobby after watching that and you're like, Priscilla has that, I want that. Priscilla has that, I want that. And so I went in to Hobby Lobby thinking that I was going in for either patriotic fabric or paper, and then Velcro. I knew that I needed some sort of Velcro. And what I ended up with was pretty much everything you see in the display. So yeah, I spent a little bit more than I had said, just a little bit. But here's the thing. Everything in their patriotic section is on sale. Because of course it is. It's the 4th of July today. So of course, all of their 4th of July stuff is on sale. So I walk in to my Hobby Lobby, and I have a pretty decent sized Hobby Lobby. I don't like to shop there. Full disclosure. However, if I didn't go there, then I would have to go to 4 separate locations, and we were under a heat advisory. Jessie doesn't do so good in the heat. I did not feel like shopping at 4 different locations the day before the 4th of July. So I did what I had to do. But they have all of the inspiration in there. So I walk in, and they've got their 4th of July wall here. And so I'm thinking that it probably goes back at least to the other side of the display. No. That's where the fall stuff is now. Fall. there are pumpkins everywhere. Like 4 rows of fall stuff. All of it. Y'all, it's the 4th of July. Like, we just hit summer. The fall stuff is up. And they're clearing certain shelves for their Christmas stuff. So, anyway, it's bananas to me. Time doesn't even have a chance to not go super fast. So I go to the back of this 4th of July wall, and I did pick up one fall thing, but I mean, really? So it's not a hokey, but it's totally a hokey. Gold orange jersey, red maroon helmet, turkey playing football. Are you kidding me right now? It's totally a hokey. Even if it's not, it is. So I had to pick that up. So cute. So, you know, I go to Hobby Lobby and I spend all this money and I buy all this stuff. And Danny's like, "Oh, this is really nice. I really like what you got. It's really nice." And I showed him this and he was like, "I'm so glad you got that." I thought that was funny. Anyway, so that was my trip to Hobby Lobby, and that is my advice. Don't watch Priscilla's home tour if you're shopping on a budget. Don't do it. Because bye budget. That's sort of like walking into a needlework store with $20 budget. You can do it if it's your first time. Anyway, okay, so there's that. Really proud of that fully finished object. Really sort of motivated towards smalls and towards fully finishing. I love it. So excited. Okay, so let's keep going with the works in progress. Just a couple more things to show you. And the first of which is my Summer of Salem SAL. So this is, of course, a SAL hosted by the Stitchers Coven, and I am working on Witches of Salem by the Primitive Hare. And that gorgeous needle minder. Preview here of what this project looked like the last you saw it. I only got to work on this for a day and a half. I won't call yesterday really a half a day, but I did work on it a little bit yesterday and a good amount on Monday the 2nd. So here is where I am at currently. Fabric here is 28 count Maron linen from XJU Designs in gold sand. And so what you will see is that I finished up the witch house. Not quite. There's still some details here, like the chimney and whatnot. But I finished up the majority of the witch house, filled in that panel, and then I stitched the gravestones in the yard. And then this little banner down here, this little banner is done in a limited edition Gentle Art Sampler Threads, of which there is no name. But it's really pretty. It's like a greeny gray yellow with brown. It's a gorgeous color. And then I got started on the tree, believe it or not. This is the top of the tree, even though it looks kind of like salad fingers. So yeah, I got just a start on that, and just for reference, that is in this region right here. So yeah, just the barest start in that section there. That little bit of the tree that I started on, that's all I got to do yesterday. Not a whole lot of stitching time devoted to this project. And that thread is another gorgeous color and cotton in dried sage. It's mostly brown, but it does have some green tones. So that's probably why it's showing up more green, I think, on the camera. And then there are these pops of like bluey green, and it's really gorgeous. So yeah, absolutely adore this piece. This is another project that sort of complicates my tentative anniversary SAL plans, because I work on this on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd every month. So I'm not sure how to navigate that. So there it is. Away this goes until then, or until I work on it next. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about the 100 Days of Hate Challenge. I am so excited about this challenge, you guys. I'm already feeling really optimistic about it. I know that it's only day 3, but I just feel really good. I just feel like this is going to be a good thing. And from what I understand, a bunch of you also feel the same way. Portia was like, hey, she posted in the group and she was like, whoever this Jessie Marie is, somebody say thank you to her for inspiring so many people to join the group. So thanks y'all for checking out the challenge, and I hope that everybody gets their hate stitching on over these next 3.5 months, give or take. So anyway, so I got started on the challenge, of course, and I am trying to stick to my 200 stitches goal. 200 stitches a day if I can. If I can't, that's okay. At least 1 stitch a day. So the project I am working on is Heaven on Earth Designs in This Moment by Jeremiah Kettner. And with 2 days under our belt, I have 420 stitches done. Because my goal is to do 2 blocks, but my last block encompassed the top little block of the page. So, I'm not going to insert a preview of what this looked like last time because the progression is not a lot. However, what is different is that I'm working on this on my Q-snap. FFOs, working on my Q-snap. Who am I? All sorts of changes going on here. Anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you where I am up to. So working on page 8 here, and yeah, just moving along. Working on my Q-snap is taking some readjusting, some getting used to again, but I think that I think it's going to work out pretty well. The reason that I decided to do this is that switching projects, while I do have 2 sets of Millennium bars, I don't have 2 sets of side stretchers. And so basically, in order to be able to switch between this and whatever project I'm actually working on for the day, it's just a little bit more cumbersome and a little bit more time intensive than I really feel like spending. Whereas I can just easily swap out the different frames. So my focus piece is on my Millennium. This is on my Q-snap, and I easily switch back and forth. No sweat. So there is that. Very much enjoying working on this again. So I can't stop mathing. I'm always doing math. Sort of figuring out when things might get done and whatnot. And what I found with this is that I could have the page done by the end of July. In order to do that, I have to spend 10 days doing 300 stitches or more. And so I contemplated doing that. I contemplated making my goal 300 stitches for the next 10 days and then going back down to my 200 from there on. However, I think that what I'm going to do instead, because if I try to put in 300 stitches on this every day, I'm not going to get to my other focus piece for the day, and I'm not so good with that. So I'm going to do this a little differently. So I'm going to stick to my 200 if I can manage it. I had talked last time about how I'm going to work on Rose Fairy for a week, switch to something else, and then go back to Rose Fairy for another week. So my something else was going to be Under the Moonlight by Passione Regamo. But I think that this time, I think I'm going to go with In This Moment, just to sort of give a dedicated week to that piece and get a bunch done so that it's my focus piece, but it's also my hate challenge piece. So I could potentially get a good amount of progress in that week. I can bump up my goal to 400 or even 500 stitches a day. Who knows? So that's sort of my plan there. So stay tuned. I mean, things change all the time with me. We know this. But that's my current idea. So there is that. Now, that sort of helps us segue into plans a little bit. So I didn't bring any of the projects that I'm about to be working on. Today I am to work on Lady of the Flag by Mirabilia because, of course, a whole bunch of people are starting their ladies today, and so I, of course, had to bring mine out to work on her. I haven't yet. I don't even have her on the frame yet, but I didn't bring her because I showed her last week. So I will work on her after this video is done uploading, as well as for the next 2 days following. So that's my plan with the Lady of the Flag. Then, starting on Saturday, I will start working on my Rose Fairy by Joan Elliott for Joan Elliott July. And I'm so excited to get into her. Now, Saturday is the next DC area Metro Stitchers meetup. And so I'm going to be taking Rose Fairy with me to that. Very excited. But again, I didn't bring her because I showed her last week, and so I will show her next week to show you what I get done. So that is sort of it for the plans for right now. That's not true. I have something on the way. I'm not sure when it's going to be en route, but it doesn't matter. When it gets here, I'm starting it immediately. And that is there's two things. First, Martha Agnes, but we already talked about that. The second is the first installment in the new Songbird Garden series by Cottage Garden Samplings. I fell in love with this. Like, love at first sight. I got an email a couple weeks ago from Crazy Annie's Stitching. Hey, sign up for our auto ship club. I've heard some less than savory things about Annie's auto ship clubs as of late, and so I thought, well, let me get in touch with Trisha at 3 All Threads and see if she's gonna get it. And so she did. And so I'm getting mine through Trisha. But it's this beautiful collection. There's going to be a total of 12. They are all exactly the same size, 159 by 159. And it features a bird and it features a flower. And it's stunning. I love Cottage Garden Samplings. I have loved everything that they have put out recently. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this. And so I'm starting that the second that it hits my hot little hands. It's charted entirely in Weeks Dye Works, I think. I didn't opt for the floss pack because I'm either going to pull hand dyeds from Stash or I'm going to do the DMC conversion. I haven't yet decided. But I'm just doing that just immediately. So that's probably going to be started before next week. It's going to impact my plans a little bit with this, with these other things, but cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, that is absolutely everything for the plans. Let's move into haul. And I have only a couple of things, like I said. Move my phone out of the way. Okay, speaking of Trisha from 3 All Threads, the next installment of Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks. This arrived, I think, on Saturday, maybe? Something like that. And I almost stitched it immediately. This one doesn't look like it would take too terribly long. Which one is this? Pinewood Farm. Did I say that already? Anyway, yeah, I almost stitched it immediately, but I didn't, obviously, because here we are. But absolutely beautiful. Love that. So that's part 6. 3 more parts to go. I have 1 stitched. Long way to go there. Okay, up next is my fabric of the month for the month of June from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. This showed up yesterday, Monday. Anyway, This is stunning, but it's totally going to blow out the camera. My subscription is a 32 count Belfast, and this is Caribbean Blue. It didn't blow out anything. I am wrong. And it's showing up as color accurate as it possibly can. This is gorgeous. Oh, see there, it looks a little, oh, no, there it goes. This is beautiful. I am super impressed with this color. Yep, love that. Mermaid, maybe? Or, I don't know. Something gorgeous is going on that. Something beachy. Caribbean blue, so. Anyway, stunning. Love that. Gorgeous. Okay. Last bit of haul. Last time I talked to you about the fact that Tamra of This Nana Stitches finally convinced me that I needed the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. So that has arrived. And I'm not going to do a flip through because I'm pretty sure somebody else already has, if not several somebody else's. And I'll just real quickly show you the pattern. I will show you the pattern that made me buy this. Yeah, it's from the Snowflower Diaries. Sorry, y'all. It's taking longer than I had intended. So that is the design. And it says, when I saw you, I fell in love, and you smiled because you knew. I love that. So sweet. And I love the lace trim that they use to frame it. That's pretty. So that is super gorgeous. It's done in Raspberry Parfait. Yep, love it. Love it. And so I have yet to read the interview from Vanna, but I will definitely do that. Some really gorgeous things in here. And some people have mentioned this previously. Oh yeah, that's right. There's some people doing the Liberty Sal today. So cute. Some have mentioned the fact that the punch needle designs can very easily translate into cross stitch designs, and it would take some calculating, but I totally would agree with that. Absolutely doable. So anyway, love that, and this is maybe the start of something for me. We'll see. Okay, so that's it for haul. Like I said, lots of things coming, not here yet. So in due time. All right, and the final topic for conversation is knitting. So I just brought one project with me today because it's the primary thing that I've been working on. I didn't have a whole lot of stitching time yesterday because I had a lot of knitting time yesterday. So this is in my Knit and Stitch Bits project bag, cute little pink lions. And it's going to outgrow this bag very quickly. But this is my Through the Loops mystery shawl for summer 2018. So I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Kirsten Kapoor of Through the Loops Designs releases a mystery summer shawl every year. This year she went back to doing lace, more of a lace thing. Last year she did something that was a little bit more mosaic. But this year's lace, and so I jumped right on. Okay, so here's the progress that I've made thus far. So we cast on down here. This is an asymmetrical triangle, so it's progressively growing. And so we started down here with this sort of leafy lace. That's what she referred to it as, like leaves. This is going to need some serious blocking when all is said and done. But it's just the same motif repeated up. And then about here is where Clue 2 started. And this is the first repeat of Clue 2. So Clue 2 is 3 repeats of a 40-row repeat. So a good amount of knitting, but just this gorgeous lace. She uses my favorite center double decreases. Yeah, I'm really, really, really enjoying this. It's working out gorgeous. The only thing is that I really want to get into my color B, so I'm hoping that that's coming up soon. So let's talk about the yarn. The yarn is Northbound Knitting Silk Merino Fingering. It is a fingering weight, obviously. 50% silk, 50% superwash merino. So it is, it's squishy and it's got that sheen to it, that silky sheen, and it's beautiful. It's also like a slick yarn, it being that silky. And it's working out to be really soft. I can't wait to have this finished. It's gonna go like right here. But so yeah. So this colorway, my color A, is Papyrus. Steely, taupey, neutrally color. And then my color B, which I can't wait to get into, is Velvet Underground. And that's showing up pretty accurate there. Sort of a berry-ish purple. But gorgeous. I have my tag inserted in here, and I don't know why I did that. Yeah. So there is that. And so I am primarily working on this. Clue 2 dropped last Friday. I just started it yesterday. So Clue 3 is due out this Friday. There's no way that I'm going to get the next 2 repeats done in the next 2 days. So I'm just going to stay behind a little bit, and that's okay. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, it's going to need a serious block. This edge over here curls real bad. You see it just flops right over. But love, 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 love it. So excited. So yeah, that is all that I have in knitting. I have something on the way for knitting, but we'll talk about that next time. And I guess that concludes absolutely everything that I have to talk about today. So I will love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support of me and my channel. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you're stitching. I will see you all next time, and as always, y'all, be kind.